It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are live with Expresso on a very important day, not just for South Africa, but globally, International Human Rights Day. And I think here in South Africa, we can be very proud of the fact that regardless of race, gender or religion, we all have the right to live as equals. And we wish this would be the conditions across the globe, but that is not the case. So to talk about our fundamental human rights, joining us from the South African Human Rights Commission to chat about the importance of you knowing your human rights, Karam Singh. Karam, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
A very important day, and I think we were talking a moment ago about the fact that South Africa often feels that we have an exclusivity on human rights abuses, but the world is in a shocking state at the moment. Let's bring it back to the reason why these fundamental rights exist and those that are most fundamental to us. Why is this day so important?
Well, you know, this day marks, there's a historical significance of this day, which is that in 1948, following the Second World War, this was the day that the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And if you think about that period after the Second World War, the world was in tatters.
In shock.
There had been genocide, there had been global war, and there was a reaction, I think, from the nations of the world that we need to put systems in place under the mantra of never again. Unfortunately, the last 50, 60 years, we've seen genocide again, we've seen gross violations of human rights. So despite having these protections, we still need to be vigilant in terms of upholding them.
And I'm going to use this word very lightly, aggressive protection of rights. That almost seems counterintuitive to the whole point of human rights. Are we achieving this? Do we need a more aggressive approach looking at the current global status?
Well, I mean, I think we do. You know, we've seen the recent attacks in Paris. We've seen the refugee crisis in Syria.
Yeah.
We've had our own challenges in South Africa this year around xenophobic violence, and also, you know, today is the end of the 16 days of violence against women and children. So I think we can't say that we live in a normal society when we have these types of challenges around violence, particularly violence against vulnerable groups, against non-nationals, against women, against children. So aggressive protection of human rights is absolutely what we need in this day.
Almost the most important. I think I love the fact that you highlighted this is the final day of 16 days of activism against violence against women and children. Why are we not getting that right here in South Africa? Let's make this a South African narrative now.
You know, I don't think it's a question of whether we're getting it right or we're not getting it right. I think it's an incremental battle. So I think there's a broad recognition in society that gender equality is a principle that we stand by. So that's no longer in debate. So that's massive progress. We've got more children going to school and on social assistance than ever before. But we have a legacy of violence in the society, and I think that plays itself out both in gender-based violence and in violence against children. So, you know, going back to your original point, this issue of eternal vigilance, it's not just 16 days, we need a 365-day campaign.
And we've got to see that being passed through generations in a cultural way as well. I love the fact that there's nowhere left to hide. We see it all happening around us every day because of things like social media. What can we do if we feel that our rights or we see a person's rights are being infringed? What do we do? Who do we go to?
Well, I mean, I think social media is absolutely powerful, and we're all self-publishers. We must say what we see. But in terms of the role that the Human Rights Commission plays, we're an incredibly accessible organization. You can reach us on telephone, you can reach us via our website. We've got offices in all the 9 provinces. Here in Cape Town, we have people coming into our offices every day. We're right in town. If you feel like you're a victim of human rights abuses or violation, by all means, contact the Human Rights Commission. We'll engage with you. We'll try to understand what your problem is, and we'll do our best to try to come up with a solution to get you through this.
Well, you are living proof of that, so thank you so much for educating us on a very important day. Thank you so much. Joined by Karam from the SA Human Rights Commission. And of course, you can check out their website, sahrc.org.za. Know your rights, not just as a South African, but as a global citizen. Leigh-Anne?